Hey, Mike, it's Corky. Do you hear me? Hey, Mike, it's Corky. Do you hear me? Will you tell Pat to bag the jib up for rough weather? Thanks.
Gotcha.
NASCAR Today, brought to you by John Deere, who invites you to see the new LT133, the only lawn tractor with a past as bright as its future.
Well, we're back here at the Martinsville Speedway. The rain continues to fall, and the decision has already been made. The Goodies 500 will not be run today. It will hopefully take the green flag at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's forecast is sunny, temperature near 70, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. No race here at Martinsville today. Now, we talk about qualifying every week. Well, that's certainly very important here at Martinsville. Look at these front row favorites. In 88 races, the pole sitter has won here 15% of the time. The front row has gone on to victory 27% of the time. In fact, more than half of the races here, the eventual winner has started in the first two rows. That's good news if you're, say, Bobby Hamilton, and he's with Jerry Punch.
Indeed it is, and Bobby Hamilton, we just showed the folks at home that this racetrack favors those who start on the front row. They win most of the time, and that's going to make you smile.
I hope it's right. Itself, I hope it cuts it down to one person. But, you know, the next two guys in line are very tough here, and we know that, and we paid a lot of attention to them in practice yesterday. We really feel like we got a good car. But it's the same old deal here. You know, you have to be around at the end, and in order to do that, you run a lot of gear here to take care of the brakes. You got to take care of the brakes, and with that gear, you got to take care of the motor. There was times out there that I could turn 9,200 RPMs if I wanted to, but you have to run a pace or you turn 8,700 or so to be there the whole 500 laps. So it's tough to do here to be competitive and try to keep up or try to pass and not overwork everything.
You're so good at this racetrack. Why? But you grew up on a high bank tap mall. This is a flat track.
You know, I think the biggest thing is I was able to drive a good car the last 2 or 3 years, and I was able to run up front with people like Rusty, Jeff Gordon, Earnhardt, them guys that run up front on a consistent basis here. And when you follow them guys a lot or have them chasing you a lot, then you sort of learn a lot from it. It's a lot easier doing that than running back in 15th or 18th place, you know, where you're having to race so hard. But our car is real good. Even in traffic, you know, you can really drive it easy and make a lot of time, and that's what you have to have here.
Hey, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bobby Hamilton leads him down at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning from the pole.
Okay, Jerry, a Kodak moment for Hamilton on Friday when he won his 5th career pole, and he's in the Bud Shootout now. He's followed to the green flag by Rusty Wallace, defending race champion Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, who had a great qualifying effort. David Green is one of 2 non-winners in the top 10. 209 races since Ken Schrader won, 102 since Bill Elliott's been to victory lane. John Andretti starts 8th. That's the car Hamilton used to drive so well here. Nemechek's the other non-winner in the top 10. Then Bobby Labonte is 10th. Rich Bickles in relief of Greg Sachs. Then it's Musgrave, Mayfield, Darrell Waltrip with his first top 25 start of 1998. And last September's winner, Jeff Burton. Wait a minute, somebody's missing. Mark Martin started 15th or higher in every race this season. But not this one, Ray.
Well, that's absolutely right, Bill. Mark, qualifying wasn't so great, but boy, I saw you smiling after happy hour. Looked like that car was pretty good.
Well, you know, I guess qualifying wasn't that bad either. We made the front stretch. Would have sure liked to start further up, but the most important thing in ththese races is having a car that's working well, and Valvoline cars is hooked up better than I've probably ever been at Martinsville.
All these years Jack Roush has been racing, no one's ever been able to win for him on his birthday. Today's his birthday, and they've already told us we're not going to get to race today. Maybe you can give him a present tomorrow.
Well, you know, we've won here before, even though this is a place that we struggle at a lot. But I guess it wasn't his birthday when we won, so it won't happen today.
Well, Mark Martin starts 18th, and he's going to go off tomorrow, not today.
Okay, well, Mark Martin, usually a slow starter, not in 1998. He's already got a couple of wins. He's led a bunch of laps. His average finish is 11.7. What that means, he's got 2 wins, a 3rd. He's finished 7th twice, but he was 38th at Daytona and 25th in Atlanta. Now, normally we like to say you have the best seat for these NASCAR Winston Cup races, and we think you do, but 2 other guys have a pretty good seat in a nice, warm, dry booth. and they finish the shrimp. And before they get to today's dessert of the day, which is appropriately named mud pie, let's go up top for some short track recipes from Bob Jenkins and Betty Parson.
So it's raining down there? Is that what he's saying?
I think he said it was raining down there. And when I saw him talk, I saw the moisture come from his mouth. So I guess it's a little chilly down there as well.
Oh, well. I'm curious, Benny. You raced here many times, finished second on a few occasions. When you completed the previous race, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you thought about Martinsville next?
About going to Martinsville brakes. How can I get the brakes on the car? What can I do to ensure that I can run 500 laps and have good brakes at the end of the race?
Last time we were at a half-mile track, it was Bristol, and we had an in-car camera showing tremendous physical pain that these guys were undergoing. How does that compare with what you suffer here at Martinsville?
It's much worse at Bristol than it is at Martinsville, because at Bristol they drive down in those corners at probably 130, 35 miles per hour. Here at Martinsville, they go down the corner probably at 110 miles per hour. And the corners are very flat. They back off before they get to the corners. As a matter of fact, at the end of the race, about the start-finish line, a lot of the cars will back off. So when the driver gets to the turns, there's not a lot of force trying to throw him out the right side of the car.
Well, another guy who had a very decent qualifying effort was John Andretti, and Jerry Punch is with him.
Boy, indeed, Bob. In fact, that was the low point of the weekend for the STP crew. John, we're talking about just in jest. You guys qualified 8th, which is a good run by most people's standards, but you guys have gotten better and better since qualifying.
STP Pontiac is really, really fast, and we've just been getting better, but it's been all little changes. And every now and then, I think my crew chief's ready to kind of shoot himself, because I don't know, I'm never really happy, but I'm really happy with the car, and I think we got a good race car for the race. I mean, everybody keeps talking about brakes, but you got to keep the nose on them, and hopefully you don't get hit in behind either. So hopefully we'll be fast enough to stay up there all day.
I saw the King smiling, Robbie Loomis smiling, you smiling, everyone up front, the whole Andretti family up there smiling. You obviously feel very comfortable about what could happen tomorrow, but now you have to wait 24 hours.
Oh, I don't mind the wait. I mean, I'm just surprised I didn't get the pole, because typically we get rained out if I get the pole, so I'm glad somebody else gets thrown on somebody else. But I mean, I've had good race cars all year, and something's gone against us during the race weekend, and so I'm looking forward to this weekend, just like I have every other weekend. But we got a car that's been about as strong as we've had all season, and we've had some really strong cars during the season.
All right, watch for John Andretti to be a major factor starting 8th tomorrow. Bill?
And that'll be a green flag, 11 o'clock tomorrow live on ESPN. They ran the first NASCAR Winston Cup race here in 1949. That was 200 laps. The first 500-lap race was in 1956. That started the story. Will continue tomorrow, 500 laps. A 50th anniversary celebration would not be complete without a tribute to the track that has been a home to Winston Cup racing since 1956. Through the years, we have seen NASCAR's greatest drivers race here: Fireball Roberts, Fred Lorenzen, Tiny Lund, and Junior Johnson. Richard Petty won here 15 times, Darrell Waltrip 11. Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace have each visited Victory Lane 6 times. 42 years of memories, past and present. We can still hear the echoes today at historical Martinsville Speedway. After an 11th place finish in last year's Winston Cup points, Johnny Benson entered 1998 with high hopes, but those hopes were shattered as Benson missed the Daytona 500. Rockingham saw the 96 Rookie of the Year finish 30th, but since then, Benson has recorded 5 straight top 10 finishes and has moved.
Three words can best describe what you need for your car.
After an 11th place finish in last year's Winston Cup points, Johnny Benson entered 1998 with high hopes, but those hopes were shattered as Benson missed the Daytona 500. Rockingham saw the 96 Rookie of the Year finish 30th, but since then, Benson has recorded 5 straight top 10 finishes and has moved back into the points chase, now in 10th position, and closing the gap on leader Rusty Wallace. And he's got a big gap to close when we drop the green flag here. You start way back in the field. Why is that?
I don't know. I guess they qualified too good, did we?
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. We just a little wet, I guess, when we went. So just didn't end up good. I don't know. And second round got rained out. We're fairly confident we'd qualify about 26th, 27th if we got to run again. But that's what can you do?
Okay, well, good luck when we drop the green flag tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Okay, he might have an advantage because he did have to qualify in the rain. But hopefully it'll be sunny when we race tomorrow. 10th in points for the first time in his career is Benson. As for the top 5, well, of course, there's Wallace. He's led since we left the Rock. Terry Labonte is winless, but has been second here 3 times. Then it's Mark Martin, and Jeff Gordon's just 98 points behind Rusty. Oh, yeah. Then there's that kid, Jeremy Mayfield. Second in points, 13th on the grid, number 12 in your program, and standing with our number 1 guy, Jerry Punch.
Hey, thanks, Bill. There's a rumor down here that anyone who mentions Michael Cranifus' name on the air gets $50, but I'm not going to do that. I know Michael real well, Michael Cranifus that is, and that's who you drive for, Michael Cranifus, right? Cranifus Racing?
Right, but I'm not going to mention Michael Cranifus. I'm going to mention Mobile One. That's who I need to mention today. So, but no, Michael's in the lounge watching us. We figured we better get his name on TV today.
Hey, what about this dream season? Even rains couldn't put a damper on the kind of year you guys have had.
I'm telling you, the Mobile One Ford and this whole race team, and you know, the 2-car and the 12-car both has really run exceptionally good the first few races here, and we just want to you know, continue on through the season. Hopefully, get a few wins between both of us, and hopefully end up this way.
Hey, this guy drives for Michael Cranifus at the back of the Michael Cranifus collar, Mobile One. Jeremy, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Everybody knows our own Benny Parsons has a cookbook. Well, each Sunday he serves up his recipe for what we're going to see in the race. Benny says if you have a bad day at Martinsville, well, them's the breaks. Here's Benny's book.
3 words can best describe what you need for your car to drive well at Martinsville. Brakes, brakes, and brakes. Folks, I know it sounds like a broken record, but braking remains the central focus for setting the car up at a track where your RPMs are reduced in half going into the corner. And because of this, every year manufacturers spend a lot of time and money trying to build a better mousetrap, translated better brakes. Braking systems can cost the teams as much as $1,500 to $2,000 a wheel. But if you can run hard all day and your competitor has to back off, then the expense is well worth it. Is horsepower still important? Yes. Are gears and transmission still important? Yes. But good brakes at Martinsville can mean the difference between this and this.
And it'll be 11 o'clock tomorrow when we see the green flag on the Goody's 500. Now, you notice Jeff Gordon's DuPont Chevrolet is being loaded up and put on the rig. Folks, normally when we have a rain delay, they just put the cars out on pit road and cover them up. But we're expecting some pretty heavy weather this afternoon. Ray Evernham, I can't remember the last time when NASCAR said put the cars away in the trailer. Can you?
No, it's been a long time. I think, boy, back in 93, 94, it's been a long time since they've let us put them back in the truck.
This is such a great racetrack for Jeff Gordon. Is this car capable of going to victory lane tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. You know, this car's capable, but there's probably 10 more right down the road that are capable, too. We had a good car yesterday afternoon, but it's so close here, it's unbelievable. There were 4 sets of cars that ran identical times to the 3rd decimal point in qualifying, so that tells you how close it is. It's going to come down to track position, who has a good pit stop, who gets the air pressure right on the last set of tires.
Have a great day and hope for sunshine.
Yeah, well, we don't want too much sunshine. Our car will run a little bit better if it's cloudy.
Okay, back to Bill Weber.
Oh, he's even got his own private forecast. Okay, all you computer wizards, here's today's instructions. Race to NASCAR online at www.nascar.com and vote for who you think will carry NASCAR's torch into the new millennium. The Future NASCAR Legend Award is one of 7 awards which will be given during NASCAR's Night in Hollywood, a golden celebration. It'll bring together entertainment celebrities, athletes, and musicians to commemorate NASCAR's 50th anniversary and recognize its evolution from a southeastern regional sport into America's fastest growing spectator sport. Don Johnson will be our host, and among the stars scheduled to appear, Mike Love of the Beach Boys, Dwayne Eddy, Sister Sledge, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and my favorite, the Magicians, Penn and Teller. Don't miss the train, NASCAR's Night in Hollywood, a golden celebration. Saturday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Coming up, a visit to Ray's Garage, just down the street from Goober's filling station. Ray examines a problem teams hope to overcome on Monday, gearing your car for victory. See Ray? He's rehearsing right now.
This is the rear end gear for a NASCAR Winston Cup race car.
Okay, the Weber Collegiate Dictionary definition for Martinsville is pretty accurate. Bumping, banging, brakes, gearing, critical race stuff. And these guys that are starting deep in the field are going to need all that stuff to get to the front. Kyle Petty rolls off 16th, followed by Kenny Wallace, Martin, Brett Bodine, and Ward Burton. Sterling Marlin has a new crew chief, Corey Stott. Then it's Irvin, Jarrett, Speed, and Hut Strickland. Everybody from 23rd on back pits on the backstretch. Michael Waltrip starts 27th. Morgan Shepard in relief of Mike Skinner goes 30th. Dale Earnhardt on the backstretch along with Kenny Irwin. Randy LaJoy in relief of Ricky Craven rolls off 36th. And in the back of the field, Jeff Green, relief driving for Derek Cope, who will be back next week, took a provisional along with Jerry Nadeau, and Terry Labonte was forced to take the past champions provisional by rule. Okay, Ray's done rehearsing. It's time to head down to Ray's Garage and get a lesson on gearing your car for victory at Martinsville. And while we're there, maybe we'll get an oil change and a car wash.
This is the rear end gear for a NASCAR Winston Cup race car. Now this part actually performs two separate functions. Number one, it helps deliver the energy which comes from the engine, transmission, and drive shaft into a 90-degree turn to drive the rear wheels. But number two, it's also a tool for the teams to adapt to changing circumstances. This part will allow you to race one way at Talladega and a different way at a track like here at Martinsville. But it's very important to have the backlash set properly. Well, what does that mean? Well, let me show you. This is the pinion gear which brings the energy in from the drive shaft, and it comes in contact with this ring gear. Now there has to be the smallest amount of space between these two parts to allow for lubrication. And that smallest amount of space there means that these parts actually can slightly move, you see right in here, which creates an area, what we call backlash. Now as this piece is driving and turning this in one direction, like at Martinsville when you're hard on the throttle, then you let off the throttle and it actually loosens up and goes backwards. Now, if that backlash or that space in between these parts isn't set properly, it could mean that your pinion is up too high on your ring gear and turning like this, which could shear off all of these teeth. And if that happens, well, your day may be over. Because the proper backlash setting is so important, many teams here at Martinsville will use a rear end gear that they've actually previously raced. That way they've been able to disassemble the parts and pieces, check the backlash, and make sure it's just perfect.
You like that? Okay. Wow, 30 seconds all my own. I can't do it in less than 23.
Sports attraction.
We have racing at 6 Eastern, right? On ESPN 1. Okay, but the truck race from Phoenix is at 6 o'clock on 1. Thank you. I heard that. Thank you. On the deuce. Well,
Make a little blinding ring.
Stacy Compton on the pole. Right. Kevin Clark feed you that? Oh.
NASCAR Today was brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction.
Okay, now here's the update in case you're just joining us. And by the way, where exactly were you? The Goodies 500 today here at Martinsville has been rained out. Green flag tomorrow at 11 o'clock live on ESPN. The weather forecast is for sunny and 70. We've got racing on the deuce, truck racing from Phoenix at 6 o'clock. Dave Despain is back next week. We'll all be in Talladega. Green flag tomorrow for the Goodies 500 at 11 o'clock Eastern. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Those of you who have been watching NASCAR Today on ESPN2 already know that the Goodies Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia has already been postponed until tomorrow. We have had rain all morning and early afternoon, plus there is a chance of severe thunderstorms this afternoon, and so NASCAR and track officials have already decided that they will postpone the race and run it tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and we will have live coverage. Down to the pit area and John Kernan.
Bob, a lot of the drivers have already headed to the house, so to speak, except for Brett Bodine. We've gotten him out of his hauler before he goes. The reason he's still here is he really likes Martinsville. 2 Busch Series wins, 2 modified wins. Start 19th on Monday, Brett. Can you get a hat trick?
I hope so. Big brother Jeff's the only one that's got that hat trick, and we'd really like to get it for ourselves. The car has just been awesome all weekend. Had a little problem qualifying. Driver tried to get too much out of the car, and we should have been a top 10 qualifier. We ended up 19th, but we got plenty enough race car to go to the front, and the guys have really done a great job, and hopefully we can stick this paycheck forward up towards the front.
Yeah, it was 8 years ago at North Wilkesboro when Brett got his first Winston Cup victory, a race I will remember well because it was my first one with ESPN, and it was the first time I got to work with Dr. Jerry Punch, who, by the way, is standing by further down pit road.
And we certainly are. Thank you very much, John. With the Robin Pemberton. Robin, who's the crew chief for Rusty Wallace, who sits on the outside of the front row. Robin, you guys are all set and ready on go to race today. And now the rains, the cold weather, and I'm even told they've even asked you to load the cars up because of the weather that's moving in tonight.
Yeah, they've allowed us to do that, and everybody likes to load whenever they can because of the weather. And, this will probably change the racetrack a little bit, but this is still old Martinsville. Probably after 50 or 100 laps, it'll be the racetrack that we all know and love, or most of us love anyways.
With your record here, you guys ought to love it after winning so many here in the spring. We're talking about 70 degrees on Monday, 70 degrees at race time, some warm. That's warmer than it's been all weekend. Do you go back to the hotel tonight and sit down with the other guys and with Rusty and sort of guess about what changes you should make on the car tomorrow morning?
I don't think so. We've run the whole gamut of springs and shock combinations, and this car, I think this is the 7th race at Martinsville for this car alone, and it just likes a certain setup. And no matter what we do, we shouldn't mess with success, and there's probably enough margin in it to adjust during a race tomorrow.
And you guys already had a busy week planned. Tuesday in Charlotte for testing, Wednesday, Thursday, Talladega on Friday, and Monday was going to be like part of a day off, maybe to see your family.
No, we're building a new car for Charlotte, and the guys have been at the shop, and they've been working a lot of overtime, and we're going for that No Bull 5 at Charlotte, so we're putting a little bit extra effort in, more than you normally would for the Coke 600 over there. We're building a new car, so we're putting a full effort in, and it wasn't going to be an off day on Monday by any means.
Hey, Robin, go get dry, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jerry.
Bill Weber standing by with another crew chief who would like to be able to race today because he's got a lot of work left to do on his car, right, Bill?
Absolutely. They're loading on the Quality Care Ford right now out of the transporter to put it away for the evening. And Todd Parrott, you've already been a victim of rain once this weekend when the track changed between practice and qualifying on Friday. You were the fastest guy in practice, but 23rd in qualifying. What happened? The track changed.
Track changed. It was raining. Yeah. Just one of those deals where you get the luck of the draw, and the track was real cold and couldn't hook up. And then when we got done qualifying, the sun came out, and after had a little rain, and Buster rode around the racetrack, dried it up real good, and put that sticky stuff all over the track, and the rest of them guys went, and we ended up 23rd and on the backstretch again.
But you came here and tested. Did it help?
Yeah, we came here and tested. It's a brand new car. It's an in-house car with a Ronnie Hopkins snout on it, and it's our 5th different car up here, and it's our 5th different race, so we'll see what happens. I think we'll be okay.
You've had a lot of bad luck here. What would be a good finish for you in this race tomorrow?
A good finish for us, I think, would be a top 10. You know, I'm being real optimistic. The last race here we finished 12th, and that was the best we'd finished. So if I feel like if we come out with a top 5, we've done something really spectacular. And who knows? We've changed everything on this Quality Care car this morning, but the color and the paint scheme. So we'll see what happens on Monday.
Okay, well, I apologize for interrupting your lunch, and good luck tomorrow.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay. That's Todd Parrott. He's ready to race, but Dale Jarrett rolls off 23rd and will pit on the backstretch. Right now, let's go up to that nice, warm, dry booth and those 3 lucky guys.
Well, it is a miserable day here in Martinsville. It's rainy, it's cold, the ceiling is very, very low, and race fans everywhere are leaving the track and going to their cars because there will not be a race here today. It will go at 11 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow morning, and we will be here with live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. That's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning Eastern Time here on ESPN. Let's follow up on something that Robin Pemberton said. He said the track will be completely different when the green flag falls tomorrow, but within 50 laps, it'll be Martinsville again.
Yeah, well, they'll get rubber back on the track for one thing, Bob, but this track likes the sunshine better than any racetrack that I've ever seen. I guess it's the cement that's in the turns. Cars run better when the sun is shining and the temperature is above 70 degrees.
Well, that's exactly right. When this racetrack is cold, those tires really have trouble getting hold of that concrete in the corners.
We are finished here at Martinsville. However, there is sunshine in the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, Arizona, and you can watch the Chevy Trucks NASCAR 150 at 6 o'clock Eastern Time later today over on the Deuce. That's, of course, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. A local driver from this area who made a tremendous impression during his Winston Cup debut here at Martinsville will have the pole for that race. We're talking, of course, of Stacy Compton. 6 o'clock Eastern Time tonight on the Deuce, the Chevy Trucks NASCAR 150. But stay with us because we are going to have last year's Goody's Headache Powder 500 from here at Martinsville to entertain you during the afternoon. Again, our race here today has been postponed because of rain. Watch it at 11 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow morning here on ESPN. So again, let's go to last year's Goody's Headache Powder 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Martinsville.